Hello everyone, Belinda Crowson here again. If you've watched any of the previous videos, I mentioned that I was going to make a series of civics videos, sort of an understanding of the processes and purposes of municipal government, what we do, how we do it, the role of councillors and the municipal government. This isn't about opinion so much as just setting out exactly the processes and how we work. One of the things I mentioned in the original video is that this is the Municipal Government Act, the MGA. It's essentially our job description. It tells us how we can do things, what we have to do, etc. If you look on section 153, it outlines the duties of councillors. So we actually have a job description, not only for the municipality, but for specific councillors as well. The first duty that we have is to consider and promote the interests of the municipality as a whole. So looking at it in an integrated way. We also have to promote an integrated strategic approach to intermunicipal land use planning and service delivery with neighboring municipalities. So we don't have a responsibility just to Lethbridge. Things that overlap with the county, for example, we have to look at in strategic ways because, of course, we affect them and they affect us. And that's, of course, how a regional area works. We also have to participate generally in developing and evaluating. So it's not just creating, but actually seeing how they work, policies and programs of the municipality. So you'll hear us talk about policies and bylaws a lot because that's what we do. We're not the ones implementing things. We're the ones creating them and then seeing how effective they are and adapting and changing as necessary. It is also a responsibility to participate in meetings of council, committee meetings, but also meetings of organizations and bodies that we are assigned to on behalf of council. And participation doesn't just mean showing up. Participation means being prepared, reading agendas, knowing the information in advance, asking questions. It is an active participation that is expected of council when they say participate in meetings. We also have to obtain information about the operations or administration from the CAO or designate, and CAO, of course, is the city manager in terms of Lethbridge. So even though it's not our job to interfere in operations, we have to understand it, because how can you create programs and policies if you don't actually understand it? So it's making sure we gather that information through the CAO, not by going to talk to all the staff in the city, but through the CAO, who of course is the only staff that reports directly to council. The other thing we have to do is keep in confidence anything that is discussed in private at a closed meeting or an in-camera meeting. Closed meeting tends to be the term used now, but in-camera meeting is an older term. In-camera just meeting, a meeting that takes place in a closed area. And so we have to keep those private until they come public. So if we had a conversation and then agreed to release things, then we can discuss them. But until such time as they are discussed, it is our duty to keep those quiet and to not tell anyone about what was discussed or what was said in those meetings. And then the other one is those catch-all that you might have seen on your own job description, to perform any other duty or function imposed on councillors through the MGA or other enactment. And in a nutshell, that is the responsibility of a councillor. Every one of us does the job differently. How we respond to these different duties will be done differently. And then, of course, there's also the work on behalf of the community that goes above and beyond this. But in a nutshell, those are the duties of a councillor.